Good Tuesday evening and welcome to the NCWLIFE Evening News. I'm Grant Olson. Before we get to today's top news stories, let's take a quick look outside our weather window. And today, another beautiful one. Let's head up to the Upper Valley and take a look at the Leavenworth area. This is our Tumwater Sky-Fi Tower camera, and what a beautiful sight that is with all kinds of blue sky out there today. Just a few high clouds, but our temperatures did warm up. We got well into the 90s in some locations, and that trend, yes, it is going to continue. A heat wave is on. We talked about it last night. The next couple of days, we'll stick to about 90 degrees. I think Thursday here in north central Washington will be in the low to mid 90s, and then we are headed to the mid and upper 90s as we head to Friday and the upcoming Labor Day weekend. We'll have your complete forecast coming up a little bit later on. And now a few of the stories we're following for you tonight. A brush fire late Monday along Highway 28 west of Trinidad burned about 49 acres before crews from several agencies were able to get it contained at about 7 o'clock this morning. A Kashmir woman accused of murdering her elderly mother earlier this year has been found competent to stand trial. We have the results of the free community-wide COVID-19 testing effort last week in Bridgeport, and Animal Care and Control is looking for a dog that reportedly attacked a Pomeranian last month in Wenatchee. But first, we begin tonight. A Rock Island home was destroyed by fire last night. Kay McKellar, spokeswoman for Douglas County Fire District 2, said firefighters initially received reports about 8:50 p.m. of a brush and house fire on Keane Grade Road. Douglas Fire District 2, Chelan Fire District 1, and firefighters from Orondo and Kashmir responded to find a single-story home fully engulfed in flames. Nobody was injured and the cause of the fire is under investigation. McKellar said the fire was finally knocked down at about 1:15 this morning. Meanwhile, a brush fire late Monday along Highway 28 west of Trinidad burned about 49 acres before crews from several agencies were able to get it contained at about 7 o'clock this morning. Chelan and Douglas County crews both responded about 10:45 p.m. last night to the fire inside Grant County. Level 1 Be Ready evacuation orders were issued for some homes in the Columbia View Drive and Desert Rose Place areas. Aircraft from the State Department of Natural Resources assisted ground crews in getting control of that fire. A Kashmir woman accused of murdering her elderly mother earlier this year has been found competent now to stand trial. 70-year-old Anita Burgess Jones has been held at Eastern State Hospital since the January 11th death of her mother, 96-year-old Catherine Burgess Wiskay. Lawyers said at the time Jones was mentally disturbed and not able to participate in her own defense. Chelan County Judge Leslie Allen ruled Monday that Jones appears competent after psychiatric treatment. Sheriff's deputies found Wickzay dead from bludgeoning, knife wounds, and strangulation in the Kashmir home the two women shared. Jones allegedly called police and admitted to the killing. She remains jailed on $1 million bond. Her trial is now set for October 20th. 3 people out of 303 tested positive for COVID-19 in a free community-wide testing effort last week in Bridgeport. The voluntary testing last Tuesday through Thursday came after 12 of 32 Bridgeport residents tested positive at a testing event earlier in the month. Rachel Knoll, a spokeswoman with the Chelan Douglas Health District Incident Management Team, said the low number of positive tests last week still may not represent the prevalence of the coronavirus in that community of about 1,500 people. Community-wide testing moved to Rock Island this week with free drive-up self-administered tests available today. That's at the Rock Island Volunteer Fire Department until 7 p.m. Starting Wednesday and running through Friday, community health workers will be going door-to-door in Rock Island offering the testing. Animal Care and Control is looking for a dog that reportedly attacked a Pomeranian last month in Wenatchee. The Pomeranian is in critical condition at a veterinary hospital in Wenatchee after the August 15th attack in the 1500 block of Pershing Street. Animal Care and Control says the owners of the small Pomeranian reported a dark brown pit bull type dog attacked their dog and then ran down Pershing Street in the direction of Maple Street. Anyone with information on the dog or its owner is asked to contact Animal Care and Control, and that phone number is 662-9577 option 1. Coming up next, Central Washington conservancy groups are arguing in favor of a U.S. Forest Service project that would thin about 8,300 acres of forest land and selectively burn 10,000 more acres in the Methow Valley. It took numerous agencies working together, but on Monday, a big pile of debris that included garbage and 2 vehicles was cleared up on Worthen Street in Wenatchee and the owner arrested. COVID-19 regulations that had petting zoos and farm tour operators worried about their future have been softened by Governor Jay Inslee. And the federal government has extended waivers that allow free meals for all children during the COVID-19 pandemic. And the Wenatchee School District, they're already on the job. I'm Grant Olson, and you're watching the NCWLIFE Evening News.
Traditional values and innovation in honoring the life of each family we serve is part of the ministry of Heritage Memorial Chapel. Our staff is committed to walk with your family with compassion through this time of grief. We are here to help and here to serve, the right kind of help when you need it most. Heritage Memorial Chapel.
So Pam, how's your mom doing?
She's okay. She's struggling. She'd like to stay in her house, and it's getting harder for her to do the daily chores.
What kinds of problems is she having?
Just basic house cleaning, taking care of her house, yard work, taking care of her medicine.
Mm-hmm. It does sound exhausting.
It is very exhausting, and I always worry about her.
Aging and Adult Care can assist you or your loved one to remain comfortably and safely in their own home. Contact them today to start the conversation.
Nissan is the value leader in new cars and SUVs. Check out these new models starting at under $20,000. The all-new Versa from $17,020. The all-new Sentra from $17,400. And the all-new Kicks from $17,995. Now you can have the Nissan style, performance, and reliability, all for under $20,000.
And they're all here at Town Nissan, up behind Costco in East Wenatchee.
Welcome back. In another news, Central Washington conservancy groups are arguing in favor of a U.S. Forest Service project that would thin about 8,300 acres of forest land and then selectively burn 10,000 more in the Methow Valley. The Mission project was scoped and approved by the Forest Service back in 2018, but last fall, an environmental nonprofit based in Montana filed a lawsuit to stall the effort. Here in Washington, the project has support from groups including the Methow Valley Citizens Council, Conservation Northwest, the counties of Chelan and Okanagan, and multiple conservation districts and stewardship associations. The supporters filed multiple briefs in the federal case, which will be heard by a Seattle judge. All say the Mission project is crucial to reestablishing and maintaining forest health and watershed quality in the Twisp River area. Well, it took numerous agencies working together, but on Monday, a big pile of debris that included garbage and 2 vehicles was cleaned up on Worthen Street in Wenatchee and the owner arrested. Wenatchee Police Captain Edgar Reinfeld said the city has been dealing with the unidentified homeless man for more than 2 years as he moved from place to place.
Wenatchee Police Department, in conjunction with Catholic Charities, our city attorney, the street department, the parks department, code enforcement division, and then finally Chelan County Regional Justice Center took a coordinated response to some of the issues on Worthen Street. One of the issues in particular was a very, very large pile of debris that was taking up several parking spots, had some definite public health concerns involved, and definitely a lot of complaints. In fact, well over 24 complaints in the month of August alone about this one issue. And we've talked at length about how difficult it is to take action with these homeless issues, and especially people camping in cars, and this is no different here, which is why it was such a lengthy and coordinated approach. In the end, Catholic Charities was with us. They've been working with the person involved here for well over a year, have provided him with housing in the past that didn't work out, have done a lot of things. And this guy is also, this is his at least 3rd, if not 4th or 5th major accumulation on public property that's occurred in the last 2 years. And so the end result yesterday was contact with him and arrest for permitting or maintaining a chronic nuisance. And it's defined in our city code. And there's been a lot of concern expressed already about arrest in this case. This was not done without careful consideration and a lot of work by all parties involved to work to that end state as one way to get a solution here. The area was cleaned up. His vehicle, his primary vehicle that we believe runs, was taken and towed to a city yard where it's being stored without charge for him when he comes out, in recognition of his rights as defined in a variety of laws and a bunch of recent case law as well. So this one has been cleaned up. You know, there are others on Worthen Street and other places in the city that are still causes for concern, will still generate complaints. The specific nature of this one allowed us to take this action. This may or may not work. There may be no result from the court where we hope to get a result. The important thing to know, though, as well, we had our mental health folks there during the contact with us. As I said before, they've been working with this guy for well over a year continually, and brought them along to ensure that services are continuous as he comes back out of jail. He may have already been released already.
COVID-19 regulations that had petting zoos and farm tour operators worried about their future have been softened by Governor Jay Inslee. The governor's office set heavy restrictions on agritourism on August 20th, but after an outcry from the Washington Farm Bureau and other advocates, he revised the rules Friday to allow activities like animal viewing, hay rides, and children's play equipment. Local fun farms, including the Leavenworth Reindeer Farm, had warned the regulations could have meant the end of their businesses. Well, the federal government has extended waivers that allows free meals for all children during the pandemic, and the Wenatchee School District is already on the job. The district announced on Monday that pre-packaged meals would be available for distribution starting today for kids as young as infancy and as old as 18, whether they're students in the district or not. Distribution sites are at 11 schools throughout the district, Monday through Friday from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. Superintendent Paul Gordon said the waiver from USDA is a huge relief to the district and its residents. Other school districts are also prepping their free meal plans. You're watching the NCWLIFE Evening News. Coming up next, tonight's feature story and your complete local weather forecast. That and much more still to come on the NCWLIFE Evening News. Please stay with us.
Hi, Stephen DeVilbus here, Branch Manager of Beneficial and Home Care. We are an equal opportunity employer and we do not discriminate in employment or services. It is our mission to maximize our clients' physical health and sense of mental well-being while remaining in the comfort of their home. We are currently seeking professional caregivers who share our mission to help our clients live safely and comfortably at home. Call Beneficial and Home Care. Schedule your interview today, 509-663-7900.
At Local Myth Pizza, we believe in real food, freshly prepared with only premium ingredients. Our cheeses are imported from Italy. Our sauces, dressings, and even our sausages are made in-house fresh daily. Featuring Northwest craft beers and 30 Chelan Valley wines and ciders. Family fun and amazing food. Eat local, drink local, and be local at Local Myth Pizza.
Come see why Sunset Magazine says you can't beat Local Myth Pizza.
Welcome back to the NCWLIFE Evening News. Like a lot of educational institutions during the pandemic, the Wenatchee River Institute in Leavenworth has turned its energies toward online learning. Each week, WRI's Community Programs Manager Rachel Bishop hosts a virtual plant identification class focusing on different native local species. In tonight's feature story, here's a sample from her latest adventure.
Fern has the widest native distribution of all ferns, and no fern grows faster or taller, and it can grow up to 16 feet tall in Washington state. And bracken fern like many different types of habitats. They like shady zones in the forest, they like really open zones with gravelly soil. And here I am in a shady forest covered by big leaf maple and Douglas fir. So ferns are really cool plants because many thousands and thousands of years ago they used to be just as tall as our current trees are. However, now we'll find them much shorter. But their way of reproducing is still the same. So ferns do not produce seeds. They instead produce something called a spore, which is similar to a pollen grain more than a seed. And the spores are created and released from tiny cases on the bottom side of fern leaves called sori. Bracken fern come from one stem out of the ground, and the stem grows nice and tall, and at the top of the stem is where we see the leaves. So the stem that comes from the ground, all of the branches off of the stem, and all of the leaves coming off of the branches, this is all considered one leaf. And what we would maybe think of a leaf, the green parts, is called the fern frond. And on the bracken fern, the fern fronds grow alternating off of the stems. And the leaves on the fern frond grow directly across from one another. And the sori, the thing that's holding and producing the spores, grow on the bottom side of the bracken fern on the curved edges of the leaves of the fern frond. One of the best ways to tell that you're looking at a bracken fern versus many of the other types of ferns in Washington State is that there's just that one stem coming out of the ground with the fern fronds coming off. Other ferns grow in clusters.
Time now to take a look at your North Central Washington weather forecast. And before we head to all of those details, and there's some hot ones in there, let's take a look outside our weather window as we head up to the Upper Valley this afternoon and look out from our Tumwater Sky-Fi Tower camera at parts of Leavenworth. And boy, just all kinds of blue sky out there. Just a few of those high, wispy, fair weather clouds today. But one thing that did happen today, we warmed up. 79 was our high Sunday. 82 yesterday. Today, there you have it, unofficially 91. So the warm up that we talked about last night did happen today. That's 9 degrees above where we should be for this time of year at 82. 65 is where we started, so it was fairly mild. 57 is our normal overnight low temperature. 101, our record set back in 1987. Record low was in 1999 at 44 degrees. Sunrise 6:21, and the sun will set tonight at 7:40. Taking a look at tomorrow, almost a carbon copy of today. The big difference in tomorrow's weather from today's weather, it won't be the temperatures, it's going to be the wind. We are going to see plenty of that tomorrow and plenty warmth too. 93 for Moses Lake, 92 in Quincy and Ephrata, and then a little bit cooler back west, Wenatchee, Cashmere, Eniat, and all the way up to Omak at 90 degrees. Beautiful day in Leavenworth tomorrow, except for the wind at 87. Taking a look at the surface loop now, we'll get to the wind tomorrow. We're going to see a little bit of that tonight too. It's been breezy off and on throughout the day today. We've been seeing that almost every evening now, so expect that tonight. But mostly clear skies around the Pacific Northwest and all through the western United States. For Wednesday, there's that wind out of the northwest, 10 to 20 miles an hour. It will be warm though, as we will stay at about 90 degrees for most of North Central Washington. We talked about that for ties tomorrow. Columbia Basin a little bit warmer. And then for Thursday, it's going to start warming up even farther. Sunny skies. Our real hot stretch begins on Thursday. We're looking at high temperatures mainly in the mid to upper 90s around North Central Washington. Friday, that'll be our hottest day of all. We'll see sunshine, possible record highs throughout central and eastern Washington. Hot temperatures all the way down into the desert southwest. And there's that big ridge of high pressure up and over over us, and that means an unseasonably hot day for Saturday too, with once again high temperatures well into the 90s, maybe 100 degrees down in the Tri-Cities area, 113 degrees down in Phoenix on Sunday. For Saturday rather. Sunday, sunny. We're going to sound like a broken record as we go right through Labor Day, folks, with hot weather. And there we go for Monday and your Labor Day. Get those barbecues ready. It's going to be clear and hot. Temperatures on Labor Day with that big ridge still over us. We're looking at about 95 degrees, and I don't see any relief even looking beyond next Monday. Let's take a look now at your Patriot Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling 7-day forecast. 65 tonight, so a mild one. 90 and windy for your Wednesday. 93 Thursday, and there those temperatures go up. 97 on Friday, 96 Saturday, and we'll stay in the mid-90s on both Sunday and Labor Day Monday. And that's a look at your local weather forecast. Coming up next, tonight's sports report with Eric Granstrom and more as the NCWLIFE Evening News continues right after this.
The two hottest pickups in America are at Town Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram. First, the Ram 1500 with back-to-back Truck of the Year awards from Motor Trend, and now the Car and Driver 10 Best list for 2020. They call it a luxury sedan with pickup capabilities. Ram is on a roll now with third-generation eco-diesel power. Next up, the Jeep Gladiator, also a 2020 10 Best model based on the new award-winning Jeep Wrangler. It has options and capabilities that no other truck can offer. Two more reasons when it comes to buying a truck. There's no reason to leave town.
Pybus Public Market's motto is where community meets. Whether it's people, enjoying an event, or they meet a colleague for coffee and whip out their laptop and are able to actually do work here, having quick and reliable Wi-Fi is one of the things that makes Pybus such a great community hub. It just contributes to the welcoming place that we want Pybus to be. I'm Allie, and fiber keeps people connected, and that's what Pybus Market is all about.
And now it's a sports update on the NCWLIFE channel.
And a happy Tuesday to you. Marco Gonzalez may have pitched his best game as a major leaguer Monday as he and the Mariners topped the LA Angels by a score of 2-1. The left-hander from Gonzaga and former Apple Sock pitcher, he pitched his second complete game of his career, allowing 1 run on 4 hits with 8 strikeouts and 1 walk. He said it felt good.
Just for a lot of reasons, this is a tough road trip. I wasn't expecting to be as emotional as I was today. But it's just one of those things where, it seems to all kind of pile out at once. And for us to go out and kind of close up the road trip the way we did, it really meant a lot. And, I just can't speak enough about the character of this group. We've hung together through a lot of tough times, and, it's kind of been a roller coaster trip. When I walked off the field in the 8th, I looked at Skip and I said, "This is my game." I knew it from the first inning. I knew it from the first pitch, and it's just one of those things where I kind of just wanted to get home. I want to be home. I want to be back in Seattle, and a lot of emotions.
Joseph Odom caught a brilliant game and came up with an RBI single. Jose Marmoleos was 2 for 3 with a solo home run. Manager Scott Service said it felt good to string 2 straight close wins together to end the road trip.
Yeah, what a way to end a trip. Back-to-back 2-1 games. Certainly we jumped on Marco Gonzalez's back today, and he carried us the whole way. So outstanding effort. I know Marco wasn't maybe as sharp as he's used to being his first outing on this trip over in San Diego, but he got it righted today. I thought he made a great adjustment in the 3rd inning, and he stayed with it and got the results he was looking for. You don't pitch a complete game without your catcher contributing huge, and Joe Odom had a heck of a game. Certainly swung the bat well, driving in a run, did a great job with Marco behind the dish, and Marmoleos again, big home run there. So winning back-to-back 2-1 games, something we haven't done a lot of, and our offense has struggled a little bit here the last few games, but that's team effort, and the pitching staff picking us up. So nice way to end this trip, and get ready to head back home.
Seattle and Los Angeles split that 4-game set 2-2. Now, Seattle was supposed to start a 3-game home series against Oakland tonight at T-Mobile Park, but everything is on hold. According to Mariner MLB writer Greg Johns, a member of the A's tested positive Saturday for COVID-19. Oakland is in Houston and were to remain there overnight last night after its final game with the Astros was postponed Sunday. Major League Baseball made the move to postpone the Seattle series until at least Thursday out of an abundance of caution. If the A's get cleared to travel by Thursday, they'll play a doubleheader that day and then have to make up that third game some other time this season. Seattle General Manager Jerry Dipoto met with reporters prior to yesterday's game in Los Angeles to discuss all the trades that had occurred. The latest was another trade with San Diego, sending closer Taylor Williams to the Padres for a player to be named later. Dipoto said it was quite a week leading up to the final few hours.
We 100% expected to execute the Taijuan Walker trade, whether it be with Toronto or one of the other teams that had been in discussion with us. But roughly the last two deals with the Padres came a little bit unexpected. The Padres had called repeatedly on Austin Nola, and we had repeatedly rebuffed the interest. And ultimately, the return just became, too big for us to pass up in our minds. So the result of those discussions was understanding their interest in Taylor Williams, which led to the third deal. So, a really interesting 72 hours, to say the least. The final days were pretty hectic, especially the last half hour or so.
Dipoto is into his fifth season with the Mariners, and in that time has rid the organization of high-priced, aging talent and replaced it with a young, vibrant farm system. He says his plan is taking shape.
I hate to say when you're not winning games at the major league level with the frequency that we would like, that it's going extraordinarily well, but it's going better than extraordinarily well for us. We have had, over the last year and a half, I'm not sure we could have painted a picture that has gone much better. Learning so much about our young players, watching prospects continue to develop, even what we're seeing down at the alternate site in Tacoma, with players like Jared Kelenic, with players like Logan Gilbert and George Kirby, Brandon Williamson, Cal Raleigh, who have all been excellent in this camp, and adding talent to our system like Emerson Hancock, like Taylor Trammell, and it feels almost impossible to imagine that from the time we started this process in September of 2018 to where we are today, that it could have gone much better.
Now, Seattle's game in L.A. was the only game played in the American League West on Monday. So let's check the standings as we open up the Les Schwab scoreboard. Oakland lead over Houston has shrunk to 2.5 games. Seattle remains third place, 8.5 back. By the way, the Mariners now 6 games back, the wild card chase. Over 20,000 student athletes in Washington have signed a petition asking for fall sports to run this fall. The group is called Student Athletes of Washington, or SAW. Their petition was released Monday morning, surpassed 5,000 by yesterday afternoon. It was at 17,000 this morning. Now it's over 20,000 signatures. One of the movement organizers is Mount Si senior Cole Nora. He said, quote, "We feel that our voice is not one that is being considered or heard. Those in position to make decisions on our behalf are not looking at things from our collective point of view," end quote. SAW's asking for the governor and the WIAA to move the fall to the fall. They're going to have a rally at the Capitol steps. That'll be Thursday at 4 o'clock. That's Sports News. I'm Eric Grandstrom. Grant, back to you.
Thank you very much, Eric. And that's going to do it for our newscast tonight. For more on these stories and other news from around North Central Washington, you can find us on Facebook or our website at ncwlife.com. And remember, if you see news happening, we'd like to hear from you. You can send us an email at news@ncwlife.com or give us a call at 888-6295. I'm Grant Olson. Thanks for joining us, and have a great night.
From the ocean to the mountains to the forest in between, vacation time can be a fun time. But not if your car breaks down. Call Global Car Care today. Have a service approved over $150 on your vehicle, and Global Car Care will donate an oil change service to one of our local heroes at Confluence Health. Look for more incentives online. Global Car Care cares about their community.